And now I would like to invite Madame Kronos to take the floor for 5 minutes, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, and really thank you to all of the witnesses for your very thoughtful remarks today. Dr. Juneau, I want to pick up on your opening remarks. You talked about there being a heavily gendered element to transnational repression, and you talked about people with family in the perpetrating country being the people who are most likely to be impacted, and that where there is family at risk, that is where transnational repression can have the most impact here in Canada. And you also talked about the way that everyone is expecting there to be an uptick in transnational repression from Iran over the next little while. And so I cannot help but think about the very small but very impacted Iranian community in my riding, where almost everyone has family at home, and where almost everyone is worried about them. As you know, people have lost contact with family members. And I'm wondering if you could elaborate a little bit on what the policy implications are for Canada of those families that are split under these circumstances.
Thank you. So I'm very happy that you bring up these aspects, including the gendered aspect and including the dimension of the prediction that there will be an uptick, and a serious uptick in Iranian transnational repression in 2026, given the current context. Anecdotally, I've already talked to a number of activists who do report recent cases of families, for example, over there being pressured to try to silence their activism here post-protests of early 2026 and post the war that is going on right now. From a policy perspective, what does that mean for Canada? The family abroad dimension might be the most difficult policy challenge at this level. Generally speaking, transnational repression is very difficult. It's a very difficult problem to deal with on many fronts. In a narrow sense, there is not that much that Canada can do in the short term when an Iranian Canadian or Chinese Canadian or other, when their family abroad is being targeted, to silence them. In the bigger picture, I do agree with what my colleague Luc de Pulford said during his testimony and his answers, in the sense that naming and shaming, making this public, not keeping it quiet, unless there is a specific request by the victim themselves to keep it quiet, which I think we should respect in those instances. But as a default position, the publicity aspect does matter. Coordination with allies is something that we are doing better now than 5 years ago, but can still be improved a lot. We are not the US, we are not even the UK in terms of our size and our power and the assets that we can bring to bear to resist at this level. But in working with other democracies where there are similar problems, the effect can be, the response can be improved. And I think Canada's work through the G7 was the first step in that direction.
I just want to pick up on the comment that you just made about what we are no longer in terms of Canada, that we are not able to have the same strength of voice that we had at the table. And I was at a Battle of the Atlantic commemoration ceremony yesterday, where I was reminded that the reason why Canada gained that respect was because of the incredible power that we had militarily, the way in which we punched above our weight, the fact that we finished the Second World War as the third largest navy in the world. And I can't help but contrast that in the way that our government was less than clear about its position on Iran, and where over a series of days we struggled to figure out exactly where Canada was heading. Does that pose, what do we need to do to be able to move forward and to be able to have that credible voice again?
Well, there's no answer to that question that doesn't involve more resources. CSIS, the RCMP, our diplomatic service, they are completely overstretched. We focus on transnational repression here today. We are right to do that because it's a big problem, but it's only one threat among many others that Canada faces. Economic espionage, cyber, great power competition. It's a very long list, as I think everybody knows. So given that multiplicity of threats, CSIS and the RCMP and the intelligence community in general, they are struggling to prioritize. It's very easy to say you should do more on transnational repression, but tomorrow morning that would mean doing less against economic espionage, which is also a major problem. So moving forward, simple answer, there's no way to do this without more resources.
Thank you. And just in that context, we've had pledges of major investments in this space, pledges of major investments in defense. What is stopping us from being able to make those investments and move this file forward?
Quick answer, please. Time is out.
Very quickly, I would say that I very much welcome the government's efforts to significantly increase defense spending. That is more than overdue, but I would emphasize the point that there are other aspects of national power and national security beyond defense that we have also been neglecting for a long time.
Thank you. Et maintenant, j'invite M. Brunel-Duceppe de prendre la parole pour 5 minutes, s'il te plaît.